Hello YouTube, this is a Satsu 5 and I got two Swiss watches here. Very beautiful in my opinion, but very cheap in the grand scheme of things. These are Swiss Army knife based watches. They're companies like Victorinox and Wenger. Wenger is no longer making Swiss Army knives. It is actually a sister company to Victorinox. Victorinox bought them a few years back, but it's my understanding that Wenger is no more. I don't know if they just stopped making knives or if they stopped their other productions of other products as well. But they're no longer making knives. But yes, this is my Wenger Grenadier. It came with this titanium bracelet, and that's going to be relevant here in a little bit. And this is my brother's Victorinox. I don't know what model it is. You can see that it has 24-hour time, which I like. And to me, it's a very simple watch that's very good looking at the same time. You know, it's not like one of those Invictus, diver watches that are like a clock on your wrist. Those are ridiculous. But this video isn't necessarily a review of this. I already reviewed this watch. But it's something that I kind of noticed with both of these affordable Swiss watches. And to prove that those Swiss watches, we'll look at the 6 o'clock marking. It says Swiss made. Swiss made. Only Swiss watches can have that made on put on them. Could they be counterfeit? I guess they could, but generally, legally, only Swiss watches are allowed to have watches made in Switzerland can have that on their 6 o'clock indice. But I noticed, especially with this one, this is mine, I wore it religiously for a long period of time, that the bands are not that good, or this bracelet. As you can see, that has like no detent to it whatsoever. And when I was on the mower, riding lawnmower, every time I'd hit a significant bump, it would come undone. So it has no detent. This is all titanium. That's the problem. That this is all titanium, and titanium is relatively soft, and it has no detent to it. In fact, the detent ball might be missing there. I don't know. See if I can get it to focus. Yeah, it looks like the detent ball might have actually moved out. But that's beside the point. This Swiss watch roughly cost me around $250, I believe, at Sam's Club. And it came with that titanium bracelet that wore out on me. And this is my brother's Victorinox. And like I said, these are affordable Swiss watches. You can go to Victorinox and get a $500 Swiss watch, and that is very cheap in the grand scheme of things. These are nothing like Rolex, Omega, Patek Philippe, nothing like the ones that you find at the Basel convention, the one-offs. These are just Swiss quartz movement watches that, or just a way to get your foot in and get to brag that you have a Swiss watch. But I noticed this on my brother's watch, that this leather is deteriorating. In fact, you got this flap, which I'm not sure what this flap is supposed to do. Maybe it's supposed to be like that, but it's now kind of just flapping around. And it's dry, it's starting to crack. This could have been prevented probably with some Oberknopfs, and probably still can recover it with some Oberknopf leather protectant or conditioner. But the fact is that the band is getting worn out, and I could probably rip this if I wanted to. I'm not going to, because it's not my watch. And I'm not going to disassemble it because it's not my watch. But I just thought this would be a kind of a cool opportunity to show you a small kit that I have. Let's see if I can get this NATO off, and if not, I don't have to take the NATO off. But what you see here is spring bars. Now these spring bars are very weak. They're not like the Seiko spring bars. These are very simple and pretty easy to manage. But basically, if you want to remove these leather straps off, you have to get the spring bar tool. And I got a watch toolkit back when I was going to mod out my Seiko XKX007. But this has all the basic tools, case back tools, case back wrench, you know, has everything you need to do some simple mods and some maintenance. You're not going to be a master watch maker with this kit, but it's a cheap kit, got on Amazon. And this is a spring bar tool. This is a very cheap spring bar tool. Came with this cheap kit, but it'll get the job done. And I just took the NATO off. That's not the NATO, but I took the NATO off just to kind of make things simpler to show you how to do this. Get this spring bar tool and you put it right there, and you kind of just push down and back towards you. And I lost that spring bar. And that will happen from time to time. Luckily, I believe I have some spares, which the spares that I have are Seiko spring bars. That's not them. I am sure I have a spare, and if not, I'll go to the jewelry store, my local jewelry store, and I'll get that fixed. But it's just something you need to keep in mind. It would have been better if I would have put this in a rag and then did it so it wouldn't shoot off. A little pro tip from me. But basically, if you're going to want to remove these spring bars, you can't really see it that well with this one, but you do the same thing. You put the, see if I can get it to focus. You put the tool in there and you push down and out. And I'm not going to do it because I don't want to risk losing my brother's spring bar, but that's basically how you would remove these straps. And then you can put whatever silicone strap or NATO you want. In fact, putting a NATO on is a lot easier than taking off and on leather or silicone. So that's it. That's the video. There's my dead watch. This watch needs a new battery, so I need to take it to the jewelry store anyways. I have, I think, the tools to remove that, but I don't have the batteries, so I need to go to the jewelry store and get that one up and working anyways. But I think I have a spring bar for that in my parts bin. So that's it. I just want to show you, you know, how with a cheap kit, you know, comes with all the basic tools, watch repair for beginners, all that good stuff. You will have the ability to change these straps out, and you can buy straps online. NATOs can be as cheap as you want them to be, and they can be up to like $150. I recommend Blue Shark. They're my favorite NATO. This is not a Blue Shark. This is a cheap one off of a website, Clockwork Synergy, I think. But the cheap ones work, and they were really good, and there's really nothing that can go wrong with them. And something I want to point out, the reason why I like NATO so much is that when you have a NATO, if you lose a spring bar, let's just say you're scuba diving, rock climbing, doing some kind of activity that could make it where you lose your watch because you're flexing and your strap might snag something. The spring bar might be very weak, like this one. If you lose that spring bar, your watch will just flap and you don't lose your watch. Now, if one of these spring bars were to give out while doing some kind of vigorous activity, you lose your watch. Your watch will fall off your wrist, and that's bye-bye watch. So that's why I like NATOs for active field watches, dive watches, anything that you're going to be doing activity in. I like NATOs. So that's it. Thank you for watching my video. I'm a Satsu5, and I'm out.